Hello, Ede followers and friends. Today I have with me Orhin. She is an advocate for African entrepreneurs. She is also the CEO of International African Arts, Crafts, and Culture Fair. And the next upcoming one will be August 2nd and 3rd in, where was it, Toronto?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Turno.
Okay. Yeah. So welcome.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for.
having me here.
Okay. So to get started, I'm just gonna. Do you want to kind of just like introduce yourself and explain like what inspired you to focus your work on supporting African entrepreneurs?
Okay, like you already said, I'm Randa Orhin
Mhm.
and the founder of International African Art, Craft and Culture Fair. I'm happy to be here. I would want to say I happen to be a very ambitious person and I've traveled a lot around the globe.
Mhm.
I actually started my e-commerce business years ago in Africa. And it was through this that I discovered that there were major challenges starting a business in Africa as an African entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So, for instance, when you look at PayPal, PayPal is available for entrepreneurs who are in developed countries.
Mhm.
But years ago, there were no payment gateways in Africa for e-commerce businesses.
Yeah.
It was really tough to run a business as that.
Mhm.
So, even if I speak with you now, PayPal is in just selected few countries in Africa.
Yeah.
And so it's not that easy,
Yeah.
even as after many, many, many years. And so I realized that entrepreneurs in developed countries have so many advantages and opportunities compared to African entrepreneurs who
Mhm.
are lacking systems, tools, and many opportunities to be able to put their businesses on the international market. And so I took it upon myself to be of help in my own way to advocate so African entrepreneurs would have these opportunities and, my love for humanity as well.
For sure.
So, aside from the fact that I faced challenges which led to this, my love for humanity also contributed um, to me starting up this particular venture.
Mhm. It's amazing.
Mhm.
Um, and so you have a background in engineering and business. So how has that shaped your approach to ecosystem building and market access?
That's a very interesting question. Most engineers, what happens is you are trained to have analytical skills
Yeah.
and also to be problem solving. And then you also have structured approaches to complex challenges.
Mm,
In my situation, I happen to be a very intuitive person.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So an intuitive person with analytical skills,
Yeah.
it makes it perfect and it balances out.
Yeah.
So this has enhanced my creativity style, my innovations, and my mind works like 24/7, always
Hmm.
looking for something to innovate.
Yeah.
What am I inventing? What's my next action?
Yeah.
I always have that active mind due to my engineering training. And I will say that it's been helpful. The only thing about it is when you're trained as an engineer, you
Yeah.
see everything as
Yeah.
straight jacket. So you may have challenges with your social skills.
Yeah.
And remember, you need these social skills to be able to have collaborations, partnerships, and then, have a bigger market share, so to
Hmm.
say. Yes. So it means you have to work hard
For
in
sure.
my situation to be able to build these partnerships and collaborations. And that is what I'm currently doing.
For sure. Collaboration is key. So, and what would you say are some of the most common challenges African entrepreneurs face when trying to access like international markets, for example?
Okay, so first and foremost, I'll say lack of education.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So there are more of these entrepreneurs who live in villages, outskirts of the cities,
Yeah,
and may not have education.
yeah.
And so it happens that they become inadequate when it comes to quality control
Mm,
systems such as ISO certifications, because you can't bring your product onto the international market if it's not ISO certified, if it
yeah.
hasn't got some international standards.
Yes. Okay.
And so they become, inadequate when it comes to these particular requirements. And then also insufficient funds to be able to add value to their raw produce, their
Mm,
raw products. And so do not really have value
hmm.
when it is actually shown on the international market. And the fever of middlemen,
Yeah.
you see, the people who happen to be middlemen, oh, let me take your product onto the international market. And they end up cheating these producers, these
Yeah.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And so this is also a very common challenge faced by these entrepreneurs. And
Yeah.
to top it all up, expensive courier services.
Yeah. For sure.
Even if you know somebody who is outside the country, in a developed country, who wants this product from you,
Yeah.
sometimes to use the available courier services, it happens to be too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And these buyers get, so to say, they get discouraged
Yeah.
and repeated purchases are not really seen with
Mm,
these African entrepreneurs. So I will say these are the basic challenges that they face
yeah.
on their job.
Would you also say like access to like online knowledge on how to um, kind of market yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And today that social media is everywhere.
Yeah.
And so once the education is not there and they are illiterate,
Hmm.
they don't know how to go about it.
Yeah. Yeah. For
And
sure.
so they may not even have an online representation of themselves
Yeah.
to start with. How are they going to be able to sell online? So it's a real major problem
Yeah.
that is currently being
For
faced.
sure. For sure. And so, how do you identify promising entrepreneurs or ventures that you like to support?
Okay, so like you mentioned earlier, the ICCF events comes off in August 2025.
Yeah.
And we're looking for African entrepreneurs of black of or black-owned businesses with unique and innovative products
Yeah.
or services that are scalable, because there are investors who are going to be present to be able to decide to partner or merge or even buy businesses
Yeah.
which are going to grow into business empires.
Okay.
And so if you have just be a black owned business,
Yeah.
have very good unique innovative products or services,
Hmm.
and then register and present yourself, you never know what's going to happen. You
Exactly.
don't really need to have elaborate, and it doesn't matter the level of your business. It
Hmm.
could be a startup, it could be mid-growth, it could be a full-blown business.
Yeah.
Yes, you still need to show up. And then if you get opportunity with any investor, you could take it up. I always say in product development, there's this acronym that is SLC,
Yeah.
simple, lovable, and complete.
Hmm.
So you have to make sure that at least your product is simple,
Hmm.
something very simple that can be used by anybody. It's not
Hmm.
something that is complex. It's also lovable. So your product is able to develop emotional effects
Yeah.
with the user,
Yeah.
such that the user becomes so excited that he wants to even go ahead and market and advocate for your product.
For sure.
And then your product should be complete.
For sure.
When you have it, I mean, that is ready on the market. These are
Mhm.
the things we look out for. So
Yeah.
we want to see product that can grow into bigger business empires. So
Hmm.
this,
And sorry, your event is in Toronto, Canada.
yes, it's in Toronto, Canada.
And do entrepreneurs need to be Canadian or can they be from anywhere?
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. As far as
Mhm.
you are a Black-owned business,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter where you're coming from.
Yeah. Okay.
Where in the world you're invited to join because it's
Mhm.
something international and it's on the international market. We just want you to come and show your product and what you do have.
Okay. So we'll share the link to your event
Sure.
in our in the blog article that goes with this, so people
Sure. It
can
sounds good.
find it. So what types of support, like beyond funding, do you find most critical for early stage African founders?
Okay, so one thing that is very important is adequate training.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So if we can have like NGOs, groups
Hmm.
organizing training
Yeah.
for these entrepreneurs,
Hmm.
I mean, it's going to be of a great help
For sure.
to them. So
Yeah.
these trainings will help them know the quality of the product they need to present on the international market and the quality control certifications, the ISO certifications. It would also teach them sustainable business practices that are
Mm-hmm.
friendly to the environment,
Mm-hmm.
and then how to add value to their raw products because that increases their market value
Yeah.
and they're able to make more money. Another thing is capacity building,
Mm-hmm.
being able to help them build their capacity and have
Mm-hmm.
the confidence that what I'm doing is the right thing. The world would need to see, and I
Yeah.
have to be able to bring it to the world.
For
And
sure.
so, creating a marketplace, a safe marketplace, like international marketplace online, that these entrepreneurs can easily post the pictures of their products
Yeah.
and then give more information about it
Yeah.
so it can be accessed anywhere in the world by anybody. This would be of much help to
Yeah.
the entrepreneurs.
And you mentioned something before when we spoke, like a an Amazon for Amazon
Exactly.
website
You
for
remember we spoke about
entrepreneurs.
that? Yes, something similar to Amazon.
Yeah.
And then that these particular marketers can easily, that's a good one there.
Yeah. Are there specific industries or sectors in Africa that you believe are underrepresented globally, but full of potential?
Okay, so yes, there are a few industries I think have a very they have huge potentials if
Hmm.
they're given the chance to be on the market. For
Yeah.
instance, the herbal-based pharmaceutical industries.
Sorry, what was that?
Herbal-based
Oh, herbal base. Yeah.
pharmaceutical industries.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So there are a lot of herbal-based pharmaceutical industries in Africa.
Yeah.
And we normally call them the phytomedicines
Yeah.
and the phytotherapeutics.
Mm. Yeah.
These are amazing products.
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
that when further researches are done on these products,
Hmm.
we're gonna get fantastic products
Yeah.
on the market internationally.
Yeah.
I bet you. And so I actually would be interested if there are people who are willing to know more, get the contacts for these pharmaceutical industries
Yeah.
to be able to promote and have great bigger businesses out of them.
Yeah.
It will be very, very encouraging.
Yeah.
Then also the cosmetic and skincare
For sure.
industry.
Hmm.
A company like L'Oreal.
Yeah.
Okay, L'Oreal, for instance, they get their shea butter, most of their shea butter from Africa.
Yeah.
Yes. And so the products from Africa are, um, if you want to find something very organic, you
Mm-hmm.
can be sure this is an African product.
Yeah, for sure.
And so the skincare and cosmetic industry is also a very booming
Mm-hmm.
industry that must be looked at.
Yeah.
And I would also like to mention agro-processing.
Okay,
Yes,
for sure.
too many produce go bad before they even get to the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do we add value to these produce to be able to get it on the international market within a
Sure.
particular time frame
Mm-hmm.
and have it still, let's say, have consumers still interested in these innovations. So if you have, say, pear, um, okay, let me take an avocado for instance.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can produce avocado paste, because sometimes it gets bad before you could do the shipping and all that. So are you able to produce avocado paste, package it properly,
Mm-hmm.
well labeled,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to be able to sell it on the international market? That is value added.
Yeah.
And so agro-processing is a very, very big thing when it comes to African produce
Yeah.
and African farmers, agriculture in Africa.
Yeah.
This is something that, I mean, it has to be looked at.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then not forgetting the African made accessories when it
Yeah.
comes to, for instance, the earring I'm wearing.
Yes, they're very
And
beautiful.
yes, very beautiful and unique.
Yeah.
And more people ask me, anytime I wear it, because it's different, more people ask me, how did you
Yeah,
get it? How do I get it?
for
You
sure.
know, so these accessories, they are beads, they are
Yeah. Oh, they're made from
bracelets, they
beads.
are waist beads, and even, you know about your sandals. They're
About,
also
sorry?
accessories. I mean, sandals.
Oh, yeah, for
Slippers,
sure.
sandals, bags.
Yeah.
They're also very good accessories that if they, I mean, if we get them in the right
Market.
designs,
Yeah.
okay, we get them in the right designs that could compete with these designer bags and designer outfits we have on the market. I
Mm-hmm.
tell you, it's going to just disrupt the market, the
Yeah.
fashion market. And
Yeah,
this is
for
going to
sure.
be an interesting place to watch. And we still have a little time to think about these, and then the innovations you can come out with these particular businesses.
For sure. I really love your earrings. You should also share the artist who designed them, and we can put their link in the blog
Sure,
too.
sure. I will be doing that.
Okay, awesome. So, how can African entrepreneurs better position themselves to attract international opportunities and partnerships?
Okay, so like I mentioned in my submission earlier,
Hmm.
um, in today's world, social media is everywhere.
Hmm.
Okay, it's just right on your phone.
Yeah,
So if you are somewhere in Africa, you have very beautiful products. I mean, you don't need to hide.
yeah,
The time is now.
yeah.
So get to your phone, sign up with any of these social media platforms
Hmm.
and get going. Represent yourself, put pictures on.
Hmm.
In your small ways, you can start, contacting some people who may be in the same industry, people you find interesting that may like your product. You send them small DMs, messages,
Hmm.
just to create contacts with them.
Yeah,
This is how you're able to you're able to sell your product and sell yourself to the international market. You
yeah,
don't need any elaborate form or systems. Start with something accessible to
yeah.
you, like social media. And that
Hmm.
is my advice. Yes, the internet is here,
Yeah.
and this is how we can make use of the internet that we have today. I
Hmm.
know when you start something and you're trying to have partnerships and collaboration, it can be very frustrating.
Hmm.
because people may not have the same ideas as you do.
Yeah.
It's not everybody who's going to buy into your innovations. But the point is, never stop and
Mhm.
don't give up until you get an answer
For sure.
to whatever you want. So keep going, keep being on the social media, keep trying. And
Yeah.
I tell you, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
For sure.
Yes,
For sure. It
sure.
just takes hard work sometimes, and we,
Sure, that's correct. True,
yeah.
I agree.
Hmm.
I do
So,
agree.
what do you think international investors often misunderstand about African markets or entrepreneurs?
Okay, so the little I've heard is, when it comes to taxes, sometimes they have to pay.
Yeah.
They happen to create businesses or go into partnership and ventures in Africa. The taxes are really, really high.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay.
And so some of these taxes deter them
Yeah.
from further investment.
Yeah.
Aside that, there's also prejudice, stereotyping.
Yeah.
They don't really believe much in Africans and what Africans can offer
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But I tell you, emerging market is now the thing.
Yeah.
The European, the American markets
Hmm.
are all getting choked, and so most investors are now looking at Africa and what they
Yeah.
can,
For
can
sure.
gain out of
Yeah.
emerging market like Africa.
Yeah.
And so all we they sometimes they also find themselves thinking those ventures or small businesses may not be viable.
Hmm.
It doesn't make business sense. Let me
Mm.
put it there. And so they don't want to put in their money. Okay, but if we have platforms that can really go through feasibility studies
Yeah.
or market research, then we can have more information to present to these investors. And
Hmm.
they also do not have enough knowledge about the African terrain.
Yeah.
Yes. And so a place you don't know that you're going to invest in, they become quite skeptical.
Yeah. So
And so
that's
these are some of the challenges that they face when it comes to um, investors who would like to invest
for
in
sure.
Africa. And to top it all up, it takes integrity,
Hmm.
honesty, to be
Yeah.
able to convince an investor
For sure.
to invest in you. So if
Yeah.
you're not able to do that as well,
Yeah.
then there are trust issues.
Yeah. For sure.
Yes. So, I mean, these are the
Main component.
challenges I can, yes,
Yeah.
think of as um, investors who may want to invest in Africa may face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I guess that's why having reliable platforms that can do like background checks on people or know who artists
exactly.
are always important.
So, and I was even talking about having more like,
Yeah.
let's say, more like incubators, business incubators um, that can accommodate these startups in Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, if there are business incubators that these startups can go to for grooming, for training,
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, they become so to say ready for investors because everything has been done for them.
Yeah. Yeah. More formal
You
training.
get the point? Yes. So, I mean, that is what we have to be looking at.
For sure.
Getting more like incubators that are, I mean, based in Africa, structured in Africa, that
Yeah.
are ready to help these startups.
For sure. Okay, so what role do women play in the African entrepreneurship space, and how do you ensure they're supported?
Okay, so I'll say To start with,
Hmm.
in Africa, okay, women are mostly trained to be homemakers. And so, as a woman, you are expected to stay in the background, whilst your husband is the main worker to bring home what he's able to make. But through education and awareness, now we know there are brilliant women who are doing excellent when it comes to running businesses. And I would want to say, the trainings that are given to women to manage their homes makes them so perfect when it comes to managing their own businesses. And I have seen videos where big entrepreneurs, big billionaires and millionaires would always, choose women to even run their businesses for them compared to men. So, well, people are skeptical. Maybe when a woman becomes so strong, they tend to have, think about becoming too masculine. So they don't become submissive and all that. But this is not true. It's just in the head. And people just assume without proof. So there's no fear for a woman to try to start up a business. And I'll take this opportunity to encourage every woman who is listening to me, start something today. It
Yes.
doesn't matter where you started, your home, your backyard, start something today. And I can assure you, you're not going to regret it. And so women in Africa stand a chance
Yeah.
of starting businesses and making it.
Sure. For sure. For sure.
Exactly. So
Women
I
are
just want to encourage them.
50% of the population. They play a very important role in society. So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah,
Women make the world go round. That is
definitely.
it.
Yeah, I
So it's
found
very, very important for us to encourage men
yeah,
to set
yeah,
up their own businesses.
for sure. Yeah, it's crucial. So 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 how do you personally measure success of the impact of your work?
Okay, so I'll say that um, I would say that I know I am an inspiration to many
Yeah.
by the cause that I have chosen. Okay. There are whatever venture I'm doing now, the International African Arts, Crafts and Culture Fair, actually came to me through epiphanies and intuition. That's how I was able to start a business. And so, and I know I have a bigger purpose in changing the world to become a better place for everybody. Yes. So the impact of my work, I would say, is actually giving hope. It has given hope to a lot of vulnerable entrepreneurs in Africa today.
Yeah.
Most people will call me and say, "Thank you for thinking about others
Yeah.
and deciding to do this."
Yeah.
Yes, so it's a calling, so to say.
Hmm.
And I don't regret starting this. I'm so happy I've been able to see myself taking this somewhere, even
Yeah.
though there has been challenges. But I'm hopeful that with collaborations, sponsors and partners and investors,
Yeah.
we will all together be able to change the world.
Yeah. It's all about making connections and kind of putting yourself out there
Getting the
sometimes.
right support, getting the right
Yeah.
support.
Yeah. And definitely including women in that mix
Exactly.
as leaders
Exactly.
as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Well, that's amazing, and I appreciate you taking your time today to share what you do and your thoughts and um, your knowledge. So thank you. Um,
Oh, I'm also very happy and thank you too for having me. It's my
yeah,
pleasure.
of course.
Yes, being here.
So just like we do at Ada Nu Ida, we focus on skill development. as one major thing. So it's always important to discuss, okay, we take the skills and then what's the next step? Because, you can have a skill mastered, but then what do you do with it? How do you connect? So having platforms and that are recognizable, have a good reputation, like what you're creating is really beneficial because then, it helps people have the proper recognition that they deserve too.
Yeah.